everybody is born with a little something extra, and sometimes they just have to find it. A little something extra is that superpower that every single one of us has inside that motivates us and drives our passion and makes us do the things that we do.
We're all on the same team. Let's think about how we can make that team as inclusive as we can.
For those of you listening to our podcast right now, you can also check out our video podcast at alittlesomethingextrapodcast.org.
All right, you ready? All right,
Get him, Tiger.
take us up with some energy. Okay.
Welcome back to our podcast.
Hold on, you need your microphone.
Oh.
There we go. Oh, yeah, down there, that wasn't a good spot either.
Sorry.
Mhm. God forbid you let anything fly.
Welcome to our podcast with my mommy, Nancy Gianni,
Mm-hmm.
and me, the GiGi,
Yeah.
and the Funko.
Woo!
So we're here at our first podcast.
Woo!
Oh,
That's
it's
our
the
first
first one.
podcast with
No,
this.
second,
Yes.
second.
Oh,
Sorry.
second podcast of the day. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
Sorry.
Got it. Good job, Gigi.
Great
All right.
intro.
Yes, such a good intro. And I'm so excited about our guest today because he comes into both sides of our world, the
Mhm.
one side of drinking beer and the other side of Down syndrome. And
Yeah.
and the third side of Gigi's Playhouse.
Mhm.
Like so exciting. And I didn't dig really deep and learning more about him and the family because I want to do it while we're here. So I'm very excited.
Yes, it makes it a lot more fun.
I've heard about this beer.
Mhm.
I've heard about this stuff. So
Yeah,
Do the
and that's why
intro,
I'm
Frank.
keeping the bio short and the intro on it because we're gonna hear more from him. So Pat Craddock is the CFO of Griffin Club Brewing Company out of Birmingham, Michigan. Pat has created an incredible beer collaboration opportunity through Griffin Club called the Try 21 Project
Woo!
in support of his son Ian and of people with Down syndrome and to support Gigi's Playhouse. So I don't want to dive too deep into it because I want Pat to tell us all about this amazing collaboration that he started and this project that they're doing. So Pat, welcome to the show, man. Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. And I always love to talk beer and especially love to talk Try 21 Project and Gigi's Playhouse. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so cool. It's
All about me.
and it's
Yeah.
all about her. So
Yeah.
well, I'm sure Ian, it's the same way. So you have a son named Ian
Yep.
with Down syndrome.
Yep.
Yes.
So Ian is 9 years old,
Nice.
and we didn't get diagnosis, before he was born, and I was working for a different brewery at the time, and when he was born, my wife and I kind of totally thrown a curveball, like many other parents with
Blindsided,
kiddos with DS. Yep. And while working in the industry, it was one of these things where the brewing industry is really different. And when I explain it to people and how we help each other when we're all really competitors, people are just kind of like scratching their heads.
Right.
The community goes really, really deep. And so in my mind, it was always, okay, what can I do to use this amazing community to give back to not only Ian, but all folks with Down syndrome
Mhm.
and their families. And it wasn't until 2018 or 19, the wildfires in California, there's a little brewery called Sierra Nevada created the first open collaboration that I can remember. And over 1,000 breweries signed up. And the whole premise was Sierra Nevada rolled out the recipe, and it was make the recipe, sell it. A portion of the proceeds go back to a non-for-profit they had set up to help the families that, the devastation that was created by these wildfires,
Yeah.
to help them. And they were able to raise, again, they had thousands of breweries on board, and just that one beer in 1 year, they were able to raise $15 million.
Get out.
And so, word to God. And so,
Wow.
again, light bulb just did one of these.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, that's it. So, again, it took a few years to kind of come to fruition.
Yeah.
After that, because it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so each year it started out small, and then each year is to continue to grow it.
So you hear that idea, or that you hear
Yep.
how they had done that, and you're like, okay, I want to do this for Down syndrome. So
100%.
what is the first thing that you do? You go, you name it, or you think of a recipe? Like, I don't even know. Is that like,
Yeah, what did
did
the
you make
process
up
look
the
like?
recipe? I don't really know
Yeah.
how that
So
goes.
it was really like right when we were getting to know the Gigi's Playhouse here locally in Detroit.
Yeah.
And when we got there and we got acclimated with the folks and the different kiddos, it was just like, this is where we want to do it as a family. Because, Ian's involved in the literacy programs and in the math programs. Miss Sue, his tutor, is an absolute saint.
Right.
And I was just like, so the idea was always there. And it wasn't until we got acclimated with GiGi's Detroit that I was like, this is where I want to do it. And my wife and I were both on board. And so it was meeting with our brewer. Well, actually step back. So I was always like, I wanted to do it, but I realized the undertaking. And one of the sponsors is a hop provider out west, Yakima Chief Hops. And it was their CEO that I kicked the idea to. And he was like, you have to do this. He's like, I won't allow you to think about it. You have to do this.
That's awesome.
And so that's what kind of pushed me over the edge. And so again, our brewer, Jake, and I met with another brewery here locally, and we were just kicking ideas. And it was, okay, how do we make a beer that people like, most people like, that generates a bunch of money, that then the more money it generates, the more we can kick back. And so that first year, it was I don't know how familiar you guys are with different beer styles, but it was a double New England IPA.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
That's going to
So it
be
was
not everyone's cup of beer.
Correct. So like my neighbor of 6 kids behind me, she's like, yeah, I had it and it was good. And so the next year we tailored it down until this year we went more approachable. So this is this year's version, and it's a West Coast Pilsner. So it's still heavily hopped, but drinks like a Pilsner. So hopefully we're catching, more people as opposed to that double New England demographic.
So does it change every year? You change the recipe up?
So this is the first year we've changed it, but we've to include as many breweries as possible. It's really open-ended. Okay. So we set the recipe, we get the participating vendors, be it RAR BSG this year, YCH, and Hopsteiner. We get them, we provide the recipe to them, and we're like, hey, this is what we want to do. And they're just so generous, and they're like, okay, we'll offer these products at a discount. And then we roll it out, and then we roll it out to different breweries. They can make their own tweaks however they want, in terms of what hops they use, or if they have different hops they want to use that aren't included, have at it.
Wow.
So
okay,
yep.
That's so cool.
And then is all of the canning the same? Like, do they use the same branding for like the Try 21 project, like that, like how you have that Pilsner?
Yep. So
but then they put their logo somewhere.
Yep. So Skidmore Studios here in Detroit, they free of charge provided all the graphics. They designed this.
It's
and actually they're able to slip in,
GiGi!
Oh,
and then
awesome.
Ian right there was a nice little touch that.
It says Ian, IAN, going down.
Oh, look. Oh, that's very cool.
Brought a tear to my eye when I first got it.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
Yeah. Wow.
So they provided, and so there's a template out there when they go to any brewery, when they register, they have access to the graphics where they can, swap out, this is a Griffin Claw logo here. Yeah. They can put in their logo. Yeah. The GiGi's logo remains the same. And then Blue Label Packaging, another vendor, actually offers the labels free of charge. I was blown away. I gave my 30-second elevator pitch, and before I could even finish, the guy, he was just like, done, free.
Wow.
Just blown away.
Yeah.
And so they'll do it for and then they send that labeling out to whatever the can distributor is for, like, or producer is for any of these different breweries, or is it all the same cans that they then just put it in their product? Like,
so all the can is actually, it's a blank. Most breweries, they're blank cans, and then they label over it. Yeah. So they send the printed labels to the different breweries that are participating.
Gotcha. Yeah. I love it because it's simple. Like, you can get behind it, but it's really through your own brewery and through your own giving, your generosity that you want to.
100%.
It's not like a bunch of hoops that you have to jump through to make it happen.
And if you think about, like the finance part of me is like, for any brewery, it's like I'm getting the ingredients in a discount or even for free.
Yeah.
That alone right there, I can kick back.
Yep.
And then it's like win-win-win, right?
Totally.
They're making money, money's going back to GiGi's, and you're creating awareness, and that's been our biggest thing at Griffin Claw is we've been able to create such a relationship with the local Playhouse. Yeah. So every World Down Syndrome Day, we do a $1 per pint at both our locations, and we get just a completely different demographic of customers coming out that day.
No doubt. Yeah.
And we've been doing it for 6 years now.
Oh wow.
And now it's like we have regulars that didn't really know who Griffin Claw was, and so it's been great.
And it's probably cool because then for GiGi's on the other side is that there's probably people that are not familiar with GiGi's that were loyal to Griffin Club before, and beer drinkers that
100%.
just
Yeah. It's a
they don't know
win-win
Down
for
syndrome.
all.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I can tell you for a fact, here in Detroit, we do the Lucky Have a Few fundraiser right around St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
And I can tell you for a fact that there's multiple couples that now come to that,
Oh, that's
because
cool.
the bridge relationship because of Griffin Club. So
That's so awesome.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
And so when you're trying to like in growing this, because I'm assuming that year after year you want this to grow in more and more breweries.
yes.
What does that process look like? Say someone's listening to this podcast right now and they're like, I know a brewmaster at a local brewery. How can I bring this to them?
So that has been one of the difficulties, and it's on both sides. On the brewery side, it's, I've gone to after, in our backyard, we have some of the biggest with Bells and Founders.
Yeah,
Going
Michigan's
to
got
breweries
some
of
big
that
ones.
breweries of that size and asking them to get on board, and they're like, our production schedule is 9 to 12 months out,
Right.
Too late type thing. So that part's been hard on the brewery side.
Mhm.
And on the on the Playhouse side, it's been being able to communicate this in a way that folks can go to their local brewery and have the discussion with the brewmaster or even a server or a bartender. I mean, it's pretty straightforward from for me, because I'm in it every day, but
Mhm.
most folks are kind of a little intimidated to have that beer discussion with their local brewery. But really it's, hey, go to this website, try21project.com, sign up, and everything is there.
Oh, good to
Yeah.
know, because I really
Yep.
didn't get it. I wasn't sure how that
Yep.
how that worked. Like, if you have to be in the business, does your Griffin, does that company sell to restaurants or
Other distributors?
yeah.
So the first year we did it, we went pretty big, and we got our distributors on board, and they sold it throughout. It's actually all throughout Michigan, and then we scaled it down because the distributors were. I won't even get into that.
Yeah.
So we scaled it down to where it's strictly in house, and we have the ability to, where if we wanted to brew it multiple times, we can.
Got it.
But
Okay.
for folks who are out here listening who belong to a local Playhouse, I urge you just to go to your local brewery and just say, visit the website, and if you have questions, there's you can submit emails, and I respond to all of them.
Yeah.
And
great.
answer any of the questions. But literally, when you say open collab to a brewery, they know the concept just because there's been so many of them.
Oh, good. Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
We have our national conference coming up too, and I know that we're going to be talking about this. So that's good to know.
I'm glad you reminded me, because Kathleen locally
Yeah.
will be out there, and I'll have to load her up with some cases to take
Yes,
out there.
please.
Oh, that would be
I'd love
amazing.
to try
Gigi
it.
would love,
Yeah,
Get some
Gigi will do a
pictures
little
with
promoting it too.
Yes, that would be
Love it.
awesome. Yeah, we would love that.
Love it.
Excellent. Okay, good. Yeah, that would be amazing.
And so then the best route to take then would probably be going to local microbreweries and talking to them
Yep.
about it then. That's okay.
Yep. So I've been, I was actually in Chicago at Microphone, or is it Elk Grove?
Yeah.
I believe Elk Grove. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had a festival with, 60, 70 different breweries, and I had handouts, and I was going to each of them, handing out and explaining the concept. And it's I've been trying to promote it any way I can on the brewery side, but then from the local Playhouse side, I mean, there's thousands of breweries, and all of them can do it.
Yeah,
totally.
Just got to sign up.
yeah.
Definitely. I love the idea of being able to talk about it now too, because like you said, they have that brewing schedule, so you have to be able to plan that out in advance.
Ahead
And
of
you
time.
guys are running this from right now, since you said it just released this past Tuesday.
Yep.
And then going through, it's World Down Syndrome Day, going through March 21st.
Yeah, so that was one of the the first year we launched it, and it was one of the the learning curve with anything, right?
Totally.
We wanted to do it just during October with World Down Syndrome Month, and brewers either I couldn't do it or we're late to the game, and so
Right.
that's when
Yeah,
we're
it's a small time
open it
frame.
up October 1st and let it run through March 21st. Widen the goalposts.
Yeah.
And so we're hoping that it creates a lot more breweries jumping on board, because you have a lot bigger window to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yeah, and there's a bigger pool to be able to pull from, to be able to show other breweries out there they did it. This is what their schedule looked like. This is how they did it, and be able to
Right.
kind of really just show a lot of different cases. That
Yeah.
they've,
We
Right.
should
pun
do
intended.
Right.
Yeah,
Um,
I love that.
yeah, really cool, because I love the idea of being able to just start bringing it out, and especially
Right.
if you guys bring some cases out too.
Yeah.
we could be able to try it, because I just know
100%.
that are around
Yeah.
here.
Totally.
That obviously we can get them into the Playhouse, do a tour, show what our mission is.
Yeah.
Because that's I would imagine that would be the best way to go.
Yeah.
You talk to whether it's the the founder president behind that microbrewery, or if it's a brewmaster, whoever it might be, give them the Playhouse, show the mission,
Yeah.
and then bring that opportunity, that collaboration, because it's genius. I love the
Yeah.
concept
And
of
we
it.
just opened our 61st location 2 weeks ago in
In
Portland.
Portland, which
In
is a
Portland.
massive,
No. Oh.
beer city. So
Mo-
like, just
most
think-
breweries per capita in all the U.S.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
All right. And
Yep.
they're an amazing group over there. They would
mentioned
and
Denver.
talk
Yeah.
about collaboration. Collaboration. Those guys are all about collaboration. And just it's such a beautiful thing. I like I said in the beginning, I love that it's it's kind of mixing your passion for beer, your passion for serving others and helping others,
Mhm.
and your son. I mean,
Yeah.
what more can you ask for?
It's again, it's a labor of love. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
In addition to the day job, but it's like it's one of those things. The whole it's not work if you love what you do.
Totally.
And it's we typically at the end of the day when I'm done with my day job, it's like I'll just be cranking out emails or catching up, and it's just like it's all worth it to be able. Like one of my things that just like greatest accomplishment, if you will, is like being able to hand that check, whether it be for this program or some of the other programs we do, for nonprofit entities. It's just, it really makes it worth it.
Totally. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I know GiGi keeps showing me her questions. She's got some
Oh,
questions
sorry.
for you.
Stop getting
Pat.
into so
I
many
know.
conversations.
She gets mad at me when I start talking too
Well,
much.
I'm not. No, now I'm not.
You're not mad? Okay, thank you. Get your
Oh.
microphone.
You're being patient.
She's
for
being
once on the
patient.
podcast.
Wow.
How
She's
nice
trying to
of
impress you,
her.
Pat.
I was gonna say, can you tell Ian to exhibit some of that?
All right, what you got, girl?
Why did you start working with beer?
Oh, good question.
Good question. I started making beer on my. It's kind of how I landed in this industry. I started making beer at home probably 15 to 18 years ago,
Wow.
and then I was also a finance guy, and so then 11 years ago is when I really got into beer professionally.
They
So
converged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, and it was like, how do I was on that path of like, oh, I'm gonna open my own brewery, and then it was like, but I always, I'm CPA by trade, and it was like, how do I merge the two? And
Yeah.
so I get myself into trouble because I know enough to get myself in trouble, like the production folks and the lab guys and things like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
cool.
You
I
did
love
it the
that.
right way. Let somebody else
Yeah.
build that part and you jump in and
Right,
just handle
right.
the finances. Yep. And have fun with
Yeah.
your second half of it. Okay, go ahead.
right.
Does the beer taste good?
Does the beer taste good?
Another good question. In my personal opinion, yes, it does. It's all about, like I said, when I started with, like the first time we did it, GiGi, my neighbor behind us, she tried it and she was very nice and told me she liked it, but I could tell she didn't.
Yeah.
So-
She was being nice.
She was being very nice.
Yeah.
Yes, those
Yes.
double IPAs aren't for everyone.
Oh, that's
No.
it.
And this,
Yeah.
No.
and this one is good question for you.
Oh, it's a good question for you. Okay.
Do you have recipe with peanut butter? That's my favorite.
Well, her favorite is
With-
peanut butter whiskey. She loves, yes,
She loves Screwball.
Screwball is her thing. So she's wondering, is there something with a little peanut butter flair?
We are also a distillery. So we make
Oh.
beer at Griffin we make beer, cider, and liquor.
Oh,
And we actually just did we just really, and we only sell our liquor internally.
Yeah.
But we just did a coffee whiskey.
oh,
You like coffee?
Mhm.
Maybe you know what? I will send a bottle of our coffee whiskey with Kathleen to
Ooh.
national conference with your name on it.
woo!
Yay.
That makes her day. She turned
And-
21. She tried getting a
Thank
fake.
you.
She's well, I
She's
know, but
22
I
now.
just was.
Oh,
Yeah, she's
sorry.
22 now.
Sorry.
But when
Right.
she's been trying to get a fake ID since she was 17. So she is
Just like all of us.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she had the best.
I was a great influence.
Oh, great
I really
influence.
was.
But and my
Yeah.
other girls too. Yeah, great influence. So she definitely
I love it.
for her. There's always a bottle of Screwball
And
and
your ball.
Doughball.
Well,
'Cause-
since her birthday, her 21st birthday, she got, I want to say 5 different bottles of Screwball.
No, it's two.
to
Oh, you got 2 bedazzled ones. and
Two
then you got so
bedazzled,
many
yeah.
others. So every birthday she
Sorry.
gets Screwball. So
with the GiGi on them, like they were pretty.
it's pretty funny.
official. Yeah.
So she's got so
I
much
love
going
it.
on. So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe the coffee one I think will be pretty
That
good.
would be
I think
really
you'll like
good.
it because you love your coffees.
She
And
loves
peanut
coffee.
butter.
And it's lower, like, so our regular whiskey, or like our bourbon and our rye whiskey is like 100 proof, and this is like, I think 60, so it's almost like
perfect.
liqueur-ish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like-
Perfect.
So
I like peanut butter too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
You could pour a little bit of your peanut butter in
Yeah.
with your coffee. With your
There you
coffee.
go.
Well,
But
that
GiGi,
would be good.
to answer your question, we don't do anything with peanut butter
Oh.
yet that I'm aware
Oh,
of.
look,
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
She's like, let me know when you do.
I'll try coffee.
I'll be a
with-
taste tester.
I'll try
Got it.
coffee whiskey instead.
Yeah.
So try the coffee whiskey
You'll like it.
instead. Okay.
But
Good.
Perfect.
I'll add it to it though at home.
Yeah, that's
So-
fine.
Why do you want to Ian and people with Down syndrome?
Why do you want to help?
Why do you want to help? people?
Help.
Yeah.
Why do you want to help Ian and people with Down syndrome?
Love. I mean,
Aw.
I obviously I love my son, and anything I can do to help the achievement centers that are, GiGi's locations. I just watching, getting connected with the different families and watching them being able to the individuals with Down syndrome to grow from the classes and opportunities they're offered. It just warms my heart. It's got a special place. And so it just comes out of love.
Aw, love that.
If you had one message to the world, what would it be?
Oh boy. One message to the world.
You only get one.
Get one. Not two, just one.
Oh, that's a tough one. Be yourself. And obviously, just to this podcast is just inclusion.
Yeah.
It goes a long way. And to folks who don't have the opportunity to, when they get that opportunity, it truly is life-changing.
To include everyone.
To include
Yep.
everyone for who
Yep.
they are.
Be yourself. Include everyone as they are.
It shouldn't be too tough, right?
Right.
Shouldn't be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go with our Generation
Make
G
it
model.
tough, but-
Be generous, be accepting, be
Be
kind.
kind.
It's that
Yes.
simple,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. Everyone can have a beer together, right?
Yes.
Doesn't
Even
matter if you have a
with
dime.
this.
Brings us all together.
That's
it
right.
absolutely does.
And it's in our along those lines in our original tap room, what's in Birmingham, it's like the German style beer hall seating.
Love those.
Oh.
So it's like it's benches with the big tables, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
get different walks of life next to each other, and next thing you know, they're
Love that.
best friends.
Oh, we're
Exactly.
coming. That's in your near Detroit?
Yeah. So we are a suburb north of Detroit. We're from the airport, probably a 40 minute drive.
Oh,
So-
very cool.
Fantastic. When we come to Detroit, when we go visit the Playhouse, we'll make sure we'll go to the
Please
tap
do.
room.
It's
Please. And they know they'll know how to get to the brewery from the Playhouse. Believe me.
I'm sure they've probably been there once or
It's been a
twice.
while.
Oh, it has been a while.
I know. We actually have to get out there because it has been a long time.
It's
since we've
been
been
a
to Detroit.
long time. And I remember that opening. It opened in January. And January in Michigan, we were there and we were at the wedding and it started, snowing like crazy. And we were driving back. And it was like, do we stick around? And then we were like, how is this opening even going to go with all this snow? There was, I
Right.
think, 700 people at that opening.
It was
Insane.
a huge
It was
event.
insane.
I believe it.
Oh my gosh. I
Yeah.
was like, who's going to be coming out in this weather? Everybody. They didn't care.
Yeah.
They wanted to see the first GiGi's Playhouse in Michigan, and it was amazing. I forgot how many years ago that was, but I love
2019?
that was it like 2015? I don't even know what year they opened, but it was
18
amazing.
maybe.
Yeah, we got there when we kind of got acclimated with the Detroit location. It was like probably a year or two after it opened, and that was 2017,
That's what I'm
2018.
thinking.
I
Yeah,
believe.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that
Yeah.
time. Wow.
And I tell you what, and it's a testament to their leadership is they've recently, probably within the last year or two, they've gotten like younger board members on board.
Yeah.
And when I bring, and I mean, Ian was one of the younger guys when we first started going, and now he's like not an older kid, but he's
Yeah.
on that next level. And so on Saturdays we'll go to, is when he sees his math tutor,
Yeah.
and the number of younger kids from like 2 to 5,
Yeah.
it's huge.
Oh, that's
it's
awesome.
huge.
Yeah.
So they've done a great job promoting and then getting the right just right classes and things in place to where they get the people attending. So,
Right. For all ages and what
Yeah.
everybody
Yep.
needs.
That's amazing. That's how they're just going to continue to be able to grow in the community.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen
Yeah.
that. I don't know if you've been to
I
that.
actually have not been to it.
So I
No,
think it
I
was
went to
just
the
me and-
fundraiser for the opening of
Oh,
it at
that
that
was
auto
cool.
show. Yeah.
That auto show.
Oh, a Detroit Auto Show.
No,
No,
at
it was
that-
like Ken Lindenhausen or something like
the
that.
guy who has
Lindenhausen?
all those
He
cars.
was a guy. He's a private. That's second largest private auto collection in the world, I believe.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right behind Jay Leno. And yeah,
And he did
obviously.
it.
And yeah, he had a huge fundraiser for us. I don't know how we got connected with him.
Yeah.
It was cool though.
It was somebody
Yeah.
through.
And then
through the
GiGi's
Playhouse.
Detroit opened, I want to say 8 months later.
Yeah.
So I think it kind
Oh,
of
nice.
really put it into place so they can be able to get their location.
It was a cool fundraiser. I mean, it was like in this huge warehouse. All of his cars were there. It
It
was
was in his garage. Yeah.
so
It's
yeah,
awesome.
his garage, his
Of course.
50,000
right?
square foot garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was
Yeah.
really cool. But
What do you mean?
that'd be a
Lucas?
great place to
Yes.
see if they want to do that again and launch the beer next year.
Right.
Yeah.
We should look into
Right.
that.
We could bring Lucas with us.
Oh, okay. We got to get back
There's
to the
the
boyfriend.
Lucas
We can
plug.
bring Lucas with us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're absolutely could.
Sorry.
You know, the boyfriend always has to come into the picture,
I'm
doesn't he?
sorry. Serious.
Well, he can't drink beer until December, and then he turns 21.
I know.
Oh,
So we'll make sure to bring him in January.
Yeah, there you go. Make the trip in January.
That's right.
Because
He could finally
When
be in.
he-
He can
when
enter his
he
first
turned
German beer
1,
hall,
I'll bring him my coffee whiskey for him.
and he could try that too.
Oh yeah,
See what he
coffee
thinks.
whiskey.
Yes.
Yep, you could try the coffee whiskey. All right, she's going to share some of her coffee whiskey with him.
Love it. Love it.
Yep.
Hey, when, if you can remind, when's national conference?
November 5th.
November 5th through the 9th. Yeah, it's 5-day conference.
Okay.
Yep.
Something like that.
Got
Good
it.
for
Okay.
you, Gigi.
Right.
Wow. Good for you. Okay.
Doesn't skip a
right,
beat.
That's right.
So, what's that?
It's right. November 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So one more question, then we'll get to your tips. Okay. So as you know, our podcast is called A Little Something Extra. What do you think is your little something extra? Kind of that superpower that inspires you to be all that you can be and all that you are.
Just one. One thing.
You only get one again.
Probably I'd say my passion for the community. As I briefly spoke on before, we do obviously the Try 21 project, but we're involved with Forgotten Harvest, which I don't know if you're familiar, Detroit-based amazing organization that has partnered with all the strategic retailers like Kroger, Meyer, and they save groceries like produce that's otherwise going to be thrown out the next day. They bring it in house, they repack it, and they get it to the homeless. So we volunteer.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So as and one woman started it as one truck, and now it's this massive, gigantic warehouse where we volunteer each winter, and then we actually just did a beer for them this past spring. And then also through Griffin Claw, it was just we were able to partner with the zoo, and we're doing like a sustainability project. We're the official craft beer of the zoo, and it's just they're right in our backyard, and it's like we started out small in terms of trying to partner with folks, and you got to pick and choose because there's just so many
much.
organizations.
Yeah.
But I feel like the ones we choose, I go all in.
Yeah.
Just because my passion for the community.
That's so cool.
That's awesome. And the fact that you're able to take, like, that you work for a place that you can take what you're doing and be able to take that community swing to it.
It's awesome.
And,
Mhm.
Obviously you're doing great things for your organization, for Griffin Claw, because you're putting your brand out there and you're doing great ways to
Right.
show your community involvement, which in turn is going to bring a lot of great publicity to your brand. And on top of it, you're making a lot of change out of it too. So you could really act on those two passions at the same time.
It's triple win because then a lot of it we tie it to being able to give money back to the organization that
Right.
that we've partnered with.
Yeah.
So it's an amazing tool to use, and I know it's nothing new or earth shattering like other breweries do it.
Yeah.
But I just feel it just takes work and passion
does.
because a lot of breweries just don't do it.
Yep.
And it's
Well, it takes a commitment to continue
Yeah.
doing it because you do it that first time and you remember how hard it is, and it's like, all right, well, we did that. That
do
was
it again.
nice.
Yeah.
We don't,
Yeah.
And then, but the commitment to continue doing it because that's, something doesn't always grow from the beginning. The first GiGi's, the second one didn't open for a couple years. And then the
Mhm.
third and fourth opened a couple years later. Then the fifth, sixth, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, then it just was like, and now we're at 61. So it doesn't always happen at that first time. And a lot of times people are just too impatient. They don't want to
Yep.
keep that commitment going. They don't want to wait.
Mhm.
If they don't get immediate gratification, if it didn't happen right away, it's not going to happen.
Right.
And it's just,
No.
and just, like I said, with GiGi's, like it's one child, one diagnosis, one community at a time, right? And I say that all the time.
Was that one before, Gigi?
Yeah, and now one beer at a time. Like think about that. It doesn't have to be making this huge change all right away because it will come. You have
Yeah.
to give it time.
Gotta
But a
keep
lot of
fighting
people
that good
don't want to
fight.
keep that commitment and they don't have that passion, like you said, to keep it going. So we're grateful, brother, that you do have that and that you have kept it going. It's really cool.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And I'm sure you can attest to it. I mean, it's like you can't grow something without hard work. Surround yourself with hardworking people. And,
Exactly.
I can't thank the team here enough that's behind it. And, it's without question now. They're like, all right, when we release
When
it?
is it?
And
Yeah.
then they back into like when brew day is. And
Wow.
it's just, it's really special. And it's just the team here, they've gotten behind it, and I can't thank them enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it was really great.
Way to go, Griffin Claw.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Gigi likes to share some tips when she's on here, right, Gigi?
Yes. This is tips.
I did say tips.
Tips.
Woo, but you don't have your microphone. Do it with tips. Woo.
Oh, I heard it.
Oh,
I heard it.
Yeah, I don't think it's hard to miss it. It picks up good. It's very high pitch.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's
All right,
your-
what do we got here? I don't know
it's
what
your
tips
thing.
are. All right, let me see.
Think, Mommy.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm not allowed
Here are my tips on how others can help.
Oh, okay.
Think about how you can help the most. Come to Playhouse to make friends and learn more.
Okay.
Talk to families about they need. If you are rich, that helps a lot.
If what?
What was that one?
If you are rich,
If you
That
are
help
rich?
us
Oh, that
a
helps a lot. That's true. So if you're rich, you could help us a lot.
100%.
but if you're not rich, you can help just as much.
That's right. By serving and passion and yes, good, good.
And bring new friends or talk to them about it.
Yep, that's how you create change in the world. All right, I like it. Do you have anything to
Awesome,
add to
Gigi.
that,
Love it.
Pat?
As it relates to this project, you can take all those,
Yeah.
go to your local brewery,
I like it.
ask them to make the beer, and then you go back and enjoy the beer,
Yep.
and then money goes back to Gigi's.
Woo!
That's a win-win-win.
That is a win-win.
That's my
Yeah.
type of win right there.
That's right.
Well, much better.
Yours
Not
is
the
better.
Oh yeah.
You planted the
Agreed.
seed,
I know.
and then he
Agreed.
grew the tree. How's that?
And he grew the tree.
All right, there we
you
go.
I
All
love
right,
it.
well, Pat, thank you. So, is there anything else you want to say before we sign off today?
Brewers, if you're listening, try21project.com. Beer drinkers, go to your local brewery and ask them to go to the website, sign up. Everything is there. Get discounted materials, make the beer, sell the beer, enjoy the beer between now and World Down Syndrome Day, the 21st, and kick a check back to Gigi's. And what we say is, to a local Playhouse, but in the event you're in a location where there is not a local Playhouse, like we had a few breweries out of the country who joined a few years ago, is to send your check to HQ, and
that's
all that information. Yeah, all that information's there.
Oh, so cool.
Thank you guys again. And
Thank you.
Yeah, there he
This-
is.
oh, that guy.
Oh my gosh, there's Ian. Do you have other
That's
kids?
what we're doing this for.
How many kids is Ian your only child?
Ian's our youngest of two. Keegan is our oldest.
Oh, beautiful. Oh my gosh. We're so grateful for you for what you've done with this beer thing. I'm excited to do more with it now. Again, it was one of those things, you just got to sometimes hang in there until we get it all figured out.
Right.
And then
Right.
then you can really see
Yeah,
where
I
it
want
can
to grow
go.
it more.
We got it, but we
Really
got to get
excited.
out there. We got to get to Detroit. So all right, brother.
Also, I have one question.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Just because I like beer and I'm curious as to another beer lover. What's your go-to type of beer? What are you going to be drinking?
I've gone full circle. You start out drinking the kind of full circle. You start out drinking the macro swill because that's what you get your hands on.
Mhm.
And then you go craft beer to IPA where we're in barrel aged stouts where you're just obliterating your taste buds, and then come back around to pilsners and lagers. And so literally part of the reason why this year is a West Coast Pilsner is
Because
because
that's
of
the
that.
favorite.
So
Love
I'm
Pilsner.
a Pilsner lager guy, but again, you put an IPA in front of me, I'm probably not going to turn it down.
Yeah, I love it.
Yep.
Yeah, you got good taste.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm still on the barrel aged stouts. Those are my go-to.
If you make,
Now. I'm a big bourbon guy, so obviously that kind of has to.
So now
check
you're going
that
to be
box
loading
for
me
me.
up because I'll have to send a bottle of bourbon now, which is 100 proof single barrel. We make it.
Oh, that's
we got
awesome.
tenure now. We got tenure now.
You guys,
at that
you guys
point.
were making it that long? Wow, that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
And then barrel aged stout release for us it'll be right after It'll be right after the conference. But either
That's
way, I'll
okay.
have
We'll-
goodies
we'll
to
get out there.
Come your way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you for sure.
if you make old fashioned, make it for him.
I'll make the old fashioned
No.
with the bourbon that they sent. How about
Yes.
that?
Sure.
And we'll do a little review.
Yes. We
Love
definitely
it.
like our old fashions in our family.
Yes, we do.
I love
We're
it.
an old fashioned
Bronco,
family.
he's the king of making old fashions.
Yeah,
Right?
I
Yes.
pride myself
Love it.
in that. Thank
Yes,
you.
you do.
No, it's fantastic. Yeah, thank you so much for joining. Everything that you're doing too. I mean, it's such a creative, way to be able to give back to GiGi's and something that, you know, anyone can help in growing. So
Yeah.
we're really excited to put that out there.
Yeah, so cool because
Yeah.
even our volunteers, it doesn't have to be anybody from the Playhouse. We have so many volunteers, thousands, hundreds of thousands of volunteers that they could just go
Right.
to their local place because we know, you know, they're done volunteering. They want to go out and have a beer. So go talk to your brewer for us.
And again, and that's it's just the relationship it creates. And like I said, like Detroit, Griffin Claw and the Detroit Playhouse is just a testament to it, of just the collaboration we've been able to do back and forth since then.
Love
It's
it.
just has really elevated both organizations. And you know, that's what I always tell other breweries when I pitch the project. I'm like, you have no idea the people you meet, the hardworking, generous people you'll meet, but they'll become fans of yours forever.
So,
You know, so it's win-win.
yeah,
For sure.
totally.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's a great point.
So
I love
Love
it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it all. My favorite subjects: beer, Down syndrome, and GiGi's Playhouse. So
yes, right.
That's why it was a great
that's
conversation.
right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on, Pat. Give a big kiss to Ian, and we're so blessed to have
Will
you
do.
in our GiGi's family. And please thank everybody at Griffin Claw because that's, you know, they're stepping up, they're supporting you, they're supporting your son, and they're supporting GiGi's Playhouse. So we're so grateful. So thank you so much,
100%.
brother.
Don't forget my cup.
Thank you.
whiskey.
Oh,
And don't forget the coffee whiskey. She's been
Gigi
thinking about
say-
that since you said it.
she's, yeah, you know, she's not going to let that
find
go.
Kathleen from Detroit day one
At
and make sure she has it. I will make sure she has it, and you
Okay.
make sure you get it.
Yeah, we gotta make
Perfect.
sure. Yeah, we don't drink it all before we find them.
That's right. All right,
right,
brother.
yeah.
Thanks again.
Thanks a lot,
All right.
Pat. Appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you.
Everybody is born with a little something extra, and sometimes they just have to find it. A little something extra is that superpower that every single one of us has inside that motivates us and drives our passion and makes us do the things that we do.
We're all on the same team. Let's think about how we can make that team as inclusive as we can.
For those of you listening to our podcast right now, you can also check out our video podcast at alittlesomethingextrapodcast.org.